All right, we're on. This is Illinois Storm Watch here. We got our update on our expected winter storm heading into late tonight into Sunday. Here's a look at current watches, warnings, and advisories we got in effect here. This is as of 10:47 a.m. Looks like this area in this is a darker bluish color. This is a winter storm watch that includes the Chicago, Rockford areas down towards Ottawa, and looks like into parts of Carroll. No, that's the county just west of there. Looks like parts of the Dixon area. Sterling Rock Falls is under a winter storm watch. Areas in pink over here, these are counties that are under a warning, meaning that the models are in great agreement that we'll see criteria events, so potentially 4 to maybe up to 9 inches of snow. We'll get into details on those accumulation here in just a minute. And then again, once we get our warning upgrade, or we'll see probably an advisory go out for Southern Cook, possibly a warning, but we'll likely see an advisory go into effect in parts of LaSalle, Kendall, I want to say that's Will County and into Kankakee County. Oh yeah, that's Will County. Kankakee County should not really see any advisories go into effect with this. But again, looks like a more purpley blue. This is for Putnam, Marshall, Peoria, Fulton, down to Pike, Morgan, and Cass counties, it looks like. These are counties that are in a winter weather advisory, meaning that the snowfall will be more of a gradient in those areas, and snow's not going to be as heavy in those areas, but we will still see some slick spots, and so on those untreated roadways, we might see some significant travel impacts, especially heading into the Galesburg area along I-74 up towards Quad Cities. Much of the I-80 corridor from generally Des Moines to I want to say that's Geneseo. I want to send that to Ottawa. So again, from Ottawa to Des Moines, Interstate 80 will be significantly impacted heading into late Saturday into Sunday again. And also we'll be watching for those travel impacts along Interstate 35 from Des Moines down towards potentially Kansas City. So again, if you are in any of these purple or these pink shaded areas, this is a winter storm warning. This means you should probably alter your travel plans. We'll get into details on our accumulation here in just a moment. If you're in advisory, just use caution. If you're in a watch, this means we'll discern which event will be issued. But just to show you guys what's going on here, this is our high resolution rapid refresh depiction here as of 7 a.m. this morning, or this is 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. This is usually 7 a.m. Central Daylight Time, something like that. But again, we're watching this area of low pressure that's forming out of the, looks like this is more of a Colorado low. That means, obviously, this is being impacted by the mountains where the lower level winds are being driven from. You'll see more gusts with these lows simply because the lower level winds have to go, they'll be light directly past the mountain summits, but now we'll see a altitude decrease with those winds, and they'll be much stronger with those gusts. And what's going to happen with this low as we head over the next few hours heading into Nebraska, that's when the low will sag into the plains, and we're going to see more moisture coming from the Gulf of Mexico with this. We got I want to check out the jet streak here with these winds. Yeah, as we can see, they're almost directly from the Gulf, but not exactly. Also, we do have some jet stream winds that are perhaps from the Pacific. That's kind of going to be our moisture source heading into the next few days here. So back to our overall depiction again. Watching that low, that'll bring precipitation again. This is almost midnight on Sunday, and as we can see, heading into midnight, we should see the snow enter Des Moines. Looks like this will be a lighter snow at onset, possibly some sleet mixing in, but again, mainly we'll see rain as for onset for most of the area. And again, let's head into Sunday morning here. We'll see some rain, possibly a rain-snow mix around Galena. Again, this is 6 to 7 a.m. around there. And we can see that the heaviest snows would already be falling along the I-80 corridor just to the west of the Quad Cities towards Omaha. We got that. Again, just keep in mind we got winter storm warnings in effect for parts of the I-80 corridor at this particular time. So again, from late Saturday to Sunday, if you're traveling on Interstate 80 to the west of the state of Illinois towards central Nebraska, this is an area where you need to take precautions if you are driving, because we'll see potentially whiteout conditions. We may see some wind gusts around 40 miles an hour. This will be a wind-driven, perhaps, snow event. Again, we see some high jet streak or low-level jet winds. They are from the Gulf, and that will be our source of moisture. But what that jet is also going to do is provide the opportunity for some of these winds to gust perhaps 30 to 40 miles per hour. And we'll see some strengthening with this low as we head into Sunday. And as we can see, we have a thick, we got an isobar gradient extending from southeast Nebraska into Kansas, and that low will be just to the south of Kansas City, just to the north of Joplin by that time. So again, we cannot rule out the possibility of blizzard conditions possibly. But again, we'd have to watch for visibilities under a quarter mile in addition to those strong winds, and those conditions lasting more than 3 hours. So this might not be a 3-hour plus blizzard, but we may see some brief whiteout conditions out there. So again, this is a time where you have to use caution, and if you need to, you should alter your travel plans to avoid the height of the storm, to avoid dangerous and potentially life-threatening travel. And we'll talk more about that coming up. And we'll see the snow enter northern Illinois with rain further south. Again, this is as a mid-level trough settles in, and that's going to cool us down heading into next week. And this is around 10 a.m., I'd say. No later, we should see the snow enter, I want to say, Waukegan down towards Fulton, Illinois. That's where our Weather Underground reporting radar station is located. Again, we're looking at perhaps 10 a.m. that morning. Or excuse me, I think that would probably be 8 a.m. Yeah, 12Z is 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. I was thinking I was in Central Daylight Time. So, again, we should see rain enter the area by 6 a.m. We'll go ahead and time that out for you. All right, so 6 a.m. we'll see the rain move in, and this looks like the rain will begin transitioning to snow as that trough cools us down. Again, we'll be seeing our winds more out of the north, out of the west-northwest at the surface. And that's going to cool the surface temperatures down to around the freezing mark, maybe a little ways above as the rain onsets. But that's going to transition the rain to snow, possibly some sleet mixing in around the vicinity of the center of the low. And again, we're going to see Oh yeah, the gradient is developing still at this point, and then as we head into this is 1 p.m. and we can definitely see that we have it again. The gradient is much thicker. We may see some whiteout conditions. Again, this is a wind-driven snow event, which means we could see some locally higher accumulations, potentially in the 4 to up to 10 inches. We'll have to see what model guidance we can find out here in a moment. But again, as the system itself enters into Illinois, we'll see more of a, we'll not have a gradient surface temperature freeze. So again, what that means is we may see some more sleet mixing in as the snow continues to onset. So this is when we start to see a mixed bag of this precipitation. Again, this is generally to the northwest of the Illinois River by this time. Again, this is 1 p.m. on Sunday. Again, this is our high resolution rapid refresh model, what is being shown here. And again, we'll see the rain. Again, this is more of a line of rain coming from the lower Mississippi. Again, it's just right around the parallel to the Mississippi River by this time. And again, we may see some moderate showers before things transition to moderate to potentially heavy snow. And again, I just cannot emphasize enough, this is going to be a dangerous situation. We will see potentially some brief whiteout conditions with this. So again, if you are not planning travel, do not. If you are planning post-Thanksgiving travel back home or wherever you're heading, this is going to be a potentially dangerous situation. So again, take it very slow, and if you encounter whiteout conditions, just find a safe place to exit the highway or pull over, because or just don't drive at all to avoid potentially the life-threatening travel as this system moves through. And again, as this cold front continues to move through, we should see again. This is areas just to the northwest of the Illinois River. Again, this is generally the I-80 corridor where we see that winter storm warning go into effect. So again, we'll see some wind gusts potentially around 40 miles an hour. I want to see the surface winds with this potential. So we can see we got some gusty winds in there. And that is right around where the snow is happening. That is being fed by our winds further above the surface, again around 850 millibars. This is just within 10 meters of the surface here. We do see some gusts potentially approaching 32 knots. That could be potentially upwards of 35 miles per hour. That is exactly what we want if we need to see anything blizzard-like. So again, we'll be seeing some no doubt near blizzard conditions with this. And again, alright, so we want to go 3. We might see a blizzard warning soon being issued for parts of the Mississippi River, areas closer to the Mississippi River in the National Weather Service in St. Louis's, or further up where the snow's likely happening. Again, that would be no surprise, but I am not necessarily thinking that it will be issued, no doubt, but again, just saying we cannot rule out that possibility of some near blizzard to blizzard conditions with this. So again, follow your local weather service office, or follow our social media accounts for more details. We'll see the snow exit the area. I want to switch to our NAM 3K here. Alright, so this will also be used for our precipitation guidance here. We'll see snow exit the area around shortly after midnight on Monday. So again, snow will exit shortly after midnight, with possibly a that will move into parts of Indiana as that low continues to drive up towards the potentially the interior northeast, the St. Lawrence Valley. So again, looks like we're not going to be as gradient, so the near blizzard conditions will be perhaps just a Sunday thing before the system moves out altogether. So let's take a look at some of our accumulating snowfall potential here. Alright, so this model does show potentially 5 to up to 9 inches along a line just north of Chicago towards the Quad Cities down towards Kansas City, with the highest amounts right around the Mississippi River. That is what I've been reporting to you guys. Again, 5 up to 10 inches of snow possibly, according to this model. The GFS does show that chance for that's exactly what we're looking for. Again, this is right on track with the NAM 3K. Again, a line from just north of Chicago to the Quad Cities down towards St. Joseph and Falls City, Nebraska. Areas right around Kansas City. We may be talking about that chance for 5 to 11 inches. We might see some isolated higher amounts over 10 inches, but again, now let's take a look at the CMC here, just to give us some additional guidance here. We're talking about that the CMC does show some isolated snow around a foot, but this does show areas further south of the likely area of the highest accumulation. Again, based on these models, what I can conclude is that the highest snow accumulation will occur along a line just north of Chicago towards Waukegan, potentially down towards Peru, Rockford, down towards the Quad Cities, and then down towards areas just the south of Des Moines in parts of southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and into southeast Nebraska and northwest Kansas. Again, right along that I-80 corridor. So if you have plans to be traveling in those areas, avoid travel if possible. And make sure your vehicle is fully winterized. So if you must travel, include a flashlight, some non-perishable food, some water, and just a way to keep warm in case your vehicle does not heat up properly. And also use caution if you are indoors. We might see that chance for some power outages. This will be a wet snow potential. Again, I want to check out these model soundings here just to take a look at what we got. Alright, this is post-event here, so... Oh, this is one of my favorite models here to track winter weather with, but I like using guidance, which means we have to use all models, see if they're in good agreement. Again, we may see some rain mix in with the snow, but just looking at this, looks like the temperatures well above the surface will be right around the freezing mark. We may see some hovering shortly above or below the freezing mark. We might see some, again, this will be a mainly rain southeast of Interstate 55, but snow further northwest with the heaviest snows, again, along that I-80 corridor. So again, use precautions if power is out. Make sure your carbon monoxide alarm does have batteries in it, because some carbon monoxide alarms are just solely operated by when your house has power. I learned that a few years ago when a tornado passed by. Also, make sure that your auxiliary heating sources, make sure space heaters are 10 feet away from combustible objects. Same with generators. Make sure generators are properly ventilated. Do not run them indoors. Again, take winter weather precautions. So again, this is just an update on ongoing winter weather or expected winter weather conditions. We will be sure to give you guys additional updates Be sure to follow our Facebook page. That is where more of our platforms are located. Have a good day.